danser le long des golfes clairs, à des reflets d'argent.
Culture shock is a very common and real thing. It describes the specific type of reaction that can occur when people travel abroad, and it is caused by stress. There are 5 stages of culture shock: culture surprise, culture stress, culture irritation, culture fatigue, and culture shock. It can take any amount of time for you to go through these stages.
We talked a lot about the metaphor that the French and all cultures have a culture that is really obvious, that's above the waterline, that's the tip of the iceberg, and then also a lot of culture that is hidden and considered their deep culture.
Bicycle, bicycle, bicycle. I want to ride my bicycle, bicycle, bicycle. I want to ride my bicycle. I want to ride my bike. I want to ride my bicycle. I want to ride it where I like. Everybody get up.
Are you ready? Here we go. Fashion is the art. Designers are the gods. Models play the part of angels in the dark. Which one of you would ever dare to go against that beauty is a trade and everyone is paid? Fashionista. How do you look? Fashionista. How do you look?
Tell me, girl, if every time we touch, you get this kind of rush. Baby, say yeah, 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 yeah. If you wanna take it slow and you just wanna take me home, baby, say yeah, 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 and let me kiss you.
I'm going to talk to you about what I have learned and noticed as what hidden and deep culture for the French are. First, the different types that they have in our book that we learned in our ICC class were time orientation, incentives, eye contact, space orientation, male and female rights, expectations, expressions, emotions, friendship, religion, and status. First, time orientation. The French set times and they attempt to make them, but life in France is not bounded by deadlines and efficiency. This complements their life. Life for them is to be enjoyed and not stressed over. Incentives for French are that they work to live, not that they live to work. They go and make money so that in their free time they can enjoy themselves. Eye contact with the French is important, but it's also different than in America. What we may consider staring isn't staring to French people, it's just like a normality. If you are on the train and someone looks at you, then they're not gonna say, hi, what's up, or how are you, like they are in America, but they're just gonna look away. And that's something that I really had to get used to. Space orientation, trains, streets, markets, restaurants, everything is a lot more tightly packed. People sit closer together, tables are smaller, male and female rights. French women, including my culture teacher, say that men in French are sexist, but France is a feminine and non-individualistic country, so compared to the US, I would say that women have a lot more rights, including a lot of their social welfare programs that give them extended time for maternity leave and a lot more freedom to do what you need to do when you are a woman and you are in the workforce. Expectations. The French expect people that aren't from their culture to try and adapt to their culture and fit in, which is why some Americans feel that the French are rude when they come to France to visit, because if you aren't attempting to speak French and live the way that they live, then it's sort of an insult onto their culture, and they're not going to be happy with you not exhibiting like their characteristics. So it is polite to speak French and to try and be French when you're in France. Expressions. The French are very expressive. When they speak, they gesticulate, they make guttural noises like, oh, okay, like whether it's a good thing or it's a bad thing. It's a stereotype that French men, I think, are weak because they use emotion and expression differently than males in America do. In general, the language of French is more artistic and more complex. You can say things in French more like fluidly and in longer sentences than you would in English or in other languages. That's the way they are. They like everything to be expressive and emotive. Friendship. Friendship is very important to the French, but it's different than it is in America. We have stereotypes, the French to be hard outer shell people, but that goes along with them being soft inner shell people. So when they make friends, they have friends for life, and they have a small group of friends that are really loyal to. Not like in America where we have large groups of friends that we may not be as close to and are more of shallow relationships. Religion. The French are first and foremost Catholic. This is depicted through their large, beautiful cathedrals in every city that they have, and French conservatism stems from that Catholicism. But church and state are completely separate in France, which has made it so that they can have these gay marriage laws, social welfare laws, low drinking ages, and other things that you wouldn't really think would go along with being an extremely religious society. And last but not least, status. The French do not like wealth or status being flaunted. It may seem noble, but it really dates back to the French Revolution, where anyone with money was either guillotined or treated differently or poorly because of their status. And also, French have high taxes, and having money also means you get to give more. So people try and keep the fact that they have money to themselves so that people don't envy them, and so that they don't want to take their money, as my culture elective teacher told us.
Et bon, la France, on a un beau pays, c'est un pays enrichissant.
Oh, ok.
Plein de bonnes choses.
D'accord.
Qu'est-ce qu'on peut encore dire de la France?
On est gentil, aimable.
On est solidaire peut-être.
D'accord, oui. Et qu'est-ce que vous pensez de la famille?
La famille, très important. Très très important. Enfin, pour moi, la famille, c'est important.
D'accord.
Alors? C'est bien la France?
C'est trop bien la France.
Alors?
Poupouille,
qu'est-ce que tu veux me parler de la France?
Il y a beaucoup à manger, trop.
La nourriture française est très bonne.
Et très bonne.
Les pâtisseries.
Les pâtisseries, ouais. Très accueillants, il y a plein d'Indiens qui viennent et tout.
Et vous supportez l'un l'autre?
Oui.
Ça dépend des moments, Joker. On a le droit.
Je switch.
La vie du public.
Je switch. On s'en fout.
Qu'est-ce que c'est un expositoire?
C'est vous qui posez la question?
Oui. Ah, selon vous, qu'est-ce qui caractérise les Françaises?
Alors je dirais que c'est la baguette et leur bon vin.
For me, personally, culture shock lasted about 2 weeks. After my first week here, I just had my big freak out, like, what am I doing here? Why am I having so much trouble communicating with people? Can I just go back to Cleveland? And I had a really hard time adjusting, and I didn't think I would, because I go to school kind of far from home, and I'm fine there, but being in a completely different country is a totally different case, and it is hard. But I made friends, and I kept busy, and I went out, and now I can't believe I have to leave in 8 days, and I just love it here, and I'm really glad I got through my culture shock.
Well, this is not my first time here in France, and actually it's my third one, and I really like this country. I found it very very good people in here. I mean, they have treated me always very nicely. For example, this time I arrived, I just got lost, and it was a girl, and I just asked her how to get to my dorm, and she even wrote me everything in French so I can ask the people if I got lost. So yeah, it's a good impression since I've been here, and I really think it's a good country. I mean, everything, the food, people, it's good, and I like it.
When I left for France, I was pretty convinced that I wasn't going to be culture shocked. I've done a lot of traveling within the United States at least, and I'd been away from home before, but I think everyone that has been on our trip really did have some form of culture shock, and I had not a severe case of culture shock, but it was definitely different when we got here. It was kind of like going away to your first day of college, but in a different country where the language is different and everybody lives differently too. So you can expect to be tired, you can expect to be a little grumpy, you can expect to feel like you're out of place because the weather is different, the light of day, like the sun stays out till 10 o'clock. At least in summer, like now that we're here in France, and the food is gonna make you feel like either good or bad. And for me, like exercise changes and food changes and diet, they just all add up to you not feeling your best, but it goes away and then you get used to it and everything's fine. But don't panic. The first couple days are harder than you're gonna expect them to be, and you're gonna have issues that you probably aren't gonna expect that you're gonna have, because I did, and I didn't think I would.
So my first reaction to France was kind of frustrating. I got to the train station and in Charles de Gaulle Airport, and there was apparently a suspicious package. So for about 40 minutes, the entire train station shut down. I missed like 3 trains out to Lille, so that was really frustrating. Like I couldn't understand what was being said over the announcements. So that was, at first I was like, oh my god, what am I doing in this country 4,000 miles away? But once I actually, got to Lille, got here safe, and, started meeting everyone and, just talking, I found out that it's just an amazing place, and I'm so glad I came here. I got over my culture shock really quick. I mean, I've had people who have stayed in Lille before, so I asked them a lot about the city and what to expect. And so definitely being prepared specifically for Lille helped a lot with adjusting to the French culture.
Alright, when I came to France, I had never taken a French class before. I was expecting to be very, very surprised when I got here, have a lot of culture shock, because I've never even been out of the United States before this trip. But actually, I found that I wasn't shocked much at all, because if you just go into a place and accept that they're going to be doing things a different way than you're used to doing, then you'll adapt to those ways easily, and you'll be able to figure out a lot about the people that live in the country. So don't expect that you're gonna have culture shock and that you're gonna take a little while to get used to it. It'll take a little bit to get used to it, but it won't necessarily be a difficult transition.
Tu verras, on sera de taille, on l'aura. À l'issue sur cette bataille, tu verras.